have a conversation that is being centered on.
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
I like to say thank you so very kindly for joining us at this time of the day or the evening as you listen to offer wherever you are in your vehicles at your respective homes or leaving your workplace this evening. I like to begin by saying thank you for joining us. I'm Isaac S. George, and I'm particularly privileged to sit in this seat this evening to have a conversation with you, the Liberian people. But before we dive into our today's talking points, we like to inform you that we are going to call on Lovetta to have our news being read, after which we will dive into today's conversation. We are trying to utilize every means possible to ensure that we have Lovetta on the line or through as she read for us our today's news. So let us take a break, after which we try to get Lovetta to read for us our news.
From the Taurus Tower on the UN Drive, opposite the beach.
To apologize for that break in. We tried our possible best to get Lovetta through the line to read for us our major happenings today. So we were indeed successful to have her through the line. So Lovetta, please go ahead and read for us our news.
Isaac, are you getting me?
Yes, indeed, you are live.
All right, good evening, Isaac. Good evening to our listeners. Welcome to today's trending news update. ANC political leader Arizona Cummings says the strength of winning the 2029 elections lies in the opposition solidarity, adding that the ANC, CDC, CMC, MPC, NPP, LPP, ALP, and all opposition parties together can create the change they seek for Liberia. Cummings noted that many people have misjudged his political career for the presidency, stressing that the only fear of the current administration is a united opposition. He maintained by clarifying that no politician contests a presidential election to become vice president. The ANC political leader argued that the kind of change the ANC seeks is because the any one person, noting that it is about the opposition putting their personal ambitions, superiority complex of individuals or parties aside, and recognizing that their strength lies in unity and not in individuals. He stated that if it will remain He stated that if it will mean for him to be the driver or the carboy to get them to their destination of a better Liberia, he submitted, adding that it was evident by his willingness to attend the CDC 22nd anniversary as keynote speaker. GLS operations manager Paul King charged in 90 million United States drug case. The Ministry of Justice Special Investigation Team has charged the operations manager of Global Logistics Services, GLS, Belama Paul Jama King, with multiple drug trafficking offenses following the discovery of suspected cocaine concealed in 6 buses at Roberts International Airport. According to the police charge sheet dated July 6, 2026, King faces charges including the unlicensed importation and exportation of controlled drugs, illegal transportation and possession of controlled substances, illicit trafficking, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation. Investigators allege that on June 5, 2026, King arranged the shipment of 6 buses through RIA for export to Europe. During routine screening, airport security detected suspicious images on X-ray scan, prompting officials to set the cargo aside for further inspection. A physical examination conducted on June 7 allegedly uncovered a white powdery substance suspected to be cocaine inside one of the buses. Authorities say King later instructed company representatives to seek the release of the shipment and admitted deleting WhatsApp messages containing contact numbers linked to the cargo. The investigation also alleged that King directed his housemaid to release $2,150 United States dollars and the 6 buses to associates for delivery to the airport before he reportedly left Liberia. The Ministry of Justice alleged that the operation formed part of an organized transitional drug trafficking network involving several individuals who remain at large. King was arrested on July 4, 2026 and remains charged pending court proceedings. Under Liberian law, he is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of competent jurisdiction. Amid increased road crashes, 71 deaths, Liberia National Police blames poor driving skills, launches driver training initiative. The Liberia National Police has expressed grave concern over the growing number of road accidents across the country, revealing that nearly 400 traffic crashes claimed approximately 71 lives during the first quarter of 2026. Speaking to a reporter At the Liberian National Police Headquarters in Monrovia, police spokesperson Sam Collins described the rising number of road accidents as a major public safety concern, attributing many of the crashes to a lack of proper driving knowledge and poor adherence to traffic regulations. The police spokesperson said the increase in fatal accidents has prompted the Liberian National Police to intensify efforts to improve road safety through driver education and awareness. According to him, the Liberian National Police has launched a driver training program aimed at equipping motorists with the necessary knowledge and skills to reduce accidents and save lives on Liberia's highways. It is closed that the police first quarter report covering January through March 2026 recorded nearly 400 road accidents, resulting in about 71 fatalities, and call on motorists to drive responsibly and obey traffic laws. The Liberian National Police says it remains committed to working with relevant stakeholders to improve road safety and reduce the number of preventable traffic accidents across the country. Police forwards man who allegedly beat his wife to death to court on charges of murder. A man accused of murdering his wife, Napu Colley, a former resident of Golata Wula Town in Bon County, has spoken to the media after being forwarded to court by the Liberian National Police to face trial. Speaking to journalists, Dempsey admitted that he laid on top of the late Napu Colley during an altercation, but claimed he did not know which part of her body he stepped on. He further alleged that his late wife had refused to have sexual relations with him for about a month, a situation he said frequently led to arguments between them. Lopo Colley reportedly died after the alleged assault and is survived by 3 children, including her youngest daughter, Fata Kamara. The case is now before the court where Dinty is expected to stand trial. Bomi and Wapolu County senators have released a joint statement on recent charges brought against 5 individuals in the cocaine bust at the Roberts International Airport in Liberia. According to Senators Edwin Snow and Amara Coney, the seizure of approximately 237.6 kilograms of cocaine at Roberts International Airport underscores a grave threat to Liberia's national security, noting that it exposes serious concerns regarding the country's rule of law, border security, and public safety. The statement noted that 2 senators commend the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, LDA, the Liberian National Police, LNP, and all supporting Joint Security Agency for their coordinated efforts in intercepting this shipment before it could cause further harm to our communities and damage Liberia's international reputation. They also commend Inspector General of Police Gregory Coburn, the Liberian National Police, and the broader Joint Security team for bringing charges against 5 individuals allegedly connected to the reported $19.2 million United States dollars cocaine trafficking case. According to the Liberian National Police, Michael U.S. Brown, also known as Rahim or Rahim Abba, Paul J. King, Oscar Brown, Emmanuel Kwa, and Usman Ali are individuals that have allegedly been linked to the criminal enterprise. However, the circumstances surrounding the investigation raise troubling questions that deserve clear and credible answers. According to the statement, Information released by the authorities, two persons of interest, Oscar Brown and Paul J. King, were outside Liberia when the investigation commenced and were subsequently declared suspects. At the same time, it has been alleged that Michael U.S. Brown and Emmanuel Kwan were present in Liberia during the early stages of the investigation, yet the authorities told the world that naming persons of interest would compromise the investigation, but made the public to believe that they were in control of the situation. Arguing that if this was accurate, it raises an obvious question: how were these suspects able to evade arrest? The Liberian people deserve full transparency regarding whether these individuals were under surveillance, whether operational failures allowed them to escape, or whether other circumstances contributed to their departure from Liberia's jurisdiction, the statement noted. The statement further that drugs worth approximately $19.2 million United States dollars reportedly entered Liberia and were on the verge of being exported through the country's only international airport. Yet, despite the magnitude of the case, no persons of interest that the authorities knew but could not name, and of course, no suspect appears to have been physically arrested by the National Security Agency, even though the officer in charge of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency publicly informed the nation that there were persons of interest in custody. According to official statement, the only individuals currently in custody who was sent to court yesterday is the suspect who voluntarily boarded a flight returned to Liberia and surrendered to national security authorities upon his arrival at Roberts International Airport. Representative Mobile urges JFK Medical Center to act on patient's condition. Monserrato County District Number 3 Representative Sumo Mobile has called on the administration of the John F. Kennedy Medical Center to take immediate action regarding the medical condition of Justina, a resident of his county, following reports of complications after a childbirth-related procedure. Representative Mobile said the hospital should conduct a transparent review of the care provided and address concerns before possible legislative oversight is initiated. He urged the medical center to facilitate Justina's immediate medical evacuation for specialized treatment outside Liberia, if necessary, to preserve her life and health. The District Number 3 lawmakers said healthcare institutions have a responsibility to uphold patient safety, ethical standards, and proper clinical procedures. He warned that failures in medical care require accountability and corrective measures to prevent further harm, emphasizing that Justina's situation should be handled with urgency and compassion without political influence. The Liberia Football Association Grievance and Disciplinary Committee announced the expulsion of FC Fasia President and Chief Executive Officer Cassiel Anthony Cole from the association and all football-related activities after finding him guilty of breaching the governing statutes of the LFA and FIFA. The committee's decision followed a formal complaint submitted by Milton Yoko, president of Small Town Football Academy, alleging that Cole violated football regulations by taking an internal football dispute before an ordinary court. Following its review, the committee concluded that Cole's decision to seek an injunction against the Liberia Football Association through the civil court system constituted a serious violation of the association's statutes. According to the ruling, Article 18 and 19 of the LFA statutes require that all football-related disputes be resolved exclusively through the association's designated arbitration mechanism rather than ordinary courts. The committee further held that the court action amounted to third-party interference in the governance and electoral affairs of the association, contrary to both LFA and FIFA regulations. Acting chairman of the Grievance and Disciplinary Committee, Jenkins Perena, said the investigation established that Cole violated multiple provisions of the LFA statutes, including Articles 2, 18.3 and 19, as well as Article 51 of the FIFA statutes. Invoking Chapter 15, Article 27 of the LFA 2018 approved statutes as amended, the committee ruled that Cole had committed a serious infringement, warranting the forfeiture of his membership. As a result, the committee ordered the immediate expulsion of Kasia Kowu from the Liberia Football Association and imposed a ban from all football-related activities under the authority of the LFA, FIFA, CFA, and WAFU. The ruling represents one of the strongest disciplinary actions taken by the Liberia Football Association in recent years and underscores the governing body's position that football disputes must remain within the sport's established judicial and arbitration structures. The decision is expected to have significant implications for FC Fasia and Liberia's football administration as stakeholders with any further response or appeal that may be pursued through the appropriate football judicial channels. The Southeastern Alliance of Liberia, for short SEAL, is calling on all appointed officials of government from the Southeastern region to return to their respective counties and actively contribute to the growth and development of the region. According to a press statement, the group believes that development begins at home. Therefore, all sons and daughters of the Southeast who have been entrusted with position of leadership and responsibility in government have a patriotic duty to return and invest their knowledge, expertise, and influence their communities. SEAL urged leaders to take the lead in identifying key development priorities, mobilizing resources, and working closely with local authorities and stakeholders to implement impactful projects that will directly improve the lives of our people. The release further noted that in the coming days, the chairman of SEAL, Goodrich, S. Chien, will lead a delegation of senior executives of SEAL to meet with various government officials and other well-meaning citizens from the Southeast. The release stated that the purpose of the meeting is to discuss concrete strategies on how these issues can be effectively addressed for the advancement of our region. That was the latest new update from Liberia. My name is Lavera Davis. Good evening.
So we like to say thank you there to Lavera Davis for reading for us our today's latest in our country, the major happenings that are taking place across Liberia. And we want to say thank you to our listeners and our viewers for listening to Lavera Davis as she read the news. The major happenings, across our country in recent times, which is today. So, fellow Liberians, again, I like to say good evening to every one of you. My name is Isaac S. George, and I feel particularly privileged to sit in this seat this evening to have a conversation with you on the National Discourse, a platform that provides the opportunity for every Liberian to make his or her voice be heard on national issues, those issues that are, very vital to, as I usually state, the progress of our country. So there are several other issues that are lingering in the public climate uh, these few days. And since last week we were here, today is the first edition of, our own week's presentation. So we like to begin by saying a statement that the political leader of the Alternative National Congress usually say. And I want to re-echo this particular statement because I believe it is a statement that is etched in, someone knowing himself or herself. And when that person has been able to realize and, have that, innate or intimate conversation with, him or herself and have that level of personal audit, he or she tends to analyze every situation, every happenings, and I mean the person basically gets to know that yes, indeed, the matter of change is something that cannot be overemphasized, and therefore the need to change is a chief importance, and that person proceeds towards making that kind of change. And what has Mr. Cummings consistently said? Mr. Cummings, as the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, has consistently said you cannot do the same thing over and over and expect a different kind of result. You cannot do the same thing over and over and expect a different kind of result. The reason why I'm saying this is because as a nation and people, collectively, we have been able to do the same thing over and over. And we are expecting a different kind of result. And that transcends fellow Liberians, political institutions. It doesn't stop there. It impacts our public institutions, it impacts our social fabrics in this country, even our homes, our communities, our churches, our mosques. As Liberians, we continue to do the same thing over and over, and we expect a different kind of result. And Mr. Cummings, as the political leader of the country, has stated very clearly that, yes, indeed, as Liberians, if we want to transform this country, if we want to tremendously make progress, if we want to see the impact that leadership can have on us, our collective decision should be on the basis of progress and it should be on the basis of change. Because when we do the same thing over and over, we should not expect a different kind of result. We should expect the same kind of result because we've done the same thing. That is what the political leader of the Alternative National Congress has consistently said. And I like to agree with him on that. I like to agree with Mr. Cummings on that particular assertion. What have we been doing wrong? What have we been doing wrong that the political leader of the ANC has seen that we should be able to change? We should be able to do something different. We should be able to do something uniquely progressive so that as old as we are, even though we are not making progress as a nation people, we're about to celebrate another anniversary, another independence. Yet, as a country and people, there is no semblance, there is no prospect of progress. We have elected the same people. The same people have not given us different kind of result. They have given us the same disappointing, disparaging and dissatisfying, results. These are the verses we have been able to be affected by as a result of the same decisions we've been making. And we as Liberians, illusionally, we are expecting a different kind of result. It is unfortunate. That is why I want us to start our today's conversation on the basis of us making a change, a tremendous change, a progressive one, a one that will act in the collective interest of the Liberian people. That is That is what Mr. Cummings, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, has consistently said. So, as I said, usually we begin by giving you voice of motivation so that you can understand through our social perspective how we think this country can move forward. So, if you are just joining us this evening, I'm Isaac as George, your host on the National Discourse, and as well as Kia Radio 95.5 and LIB Future TV live this evening. Wherever you are following this particular presentation, we'd like to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining our evening's conversation. So, let us begin by analyzing all of the major happenings during the course of last week, as well as the inception of this week. You know, the the vice president of this country, His Excellency Jeremiah Bankong, is one person that I believe the Liberian people respected, the Liberian people believe to be humbled, the Liberian people as well. I saw him as someone who has that level of credibility, someone who believes in nationhood and the preservation of integrity and dignity. But I've become increasingly disappointed. Permit me to re-emphasize. I've become increasingly disappointed by the way in which this vice president has been acting in recent times. There are a slew of controversial happenings that is taking place around the vice president. There are many controversial happenings that are taking place around the vice president. It is unfortunate that the second powerful individual in our country has integrity question. He has credibility question. To a larger extent, one may want to argue that if these attributes that the vice president is disclosing and exhibiting to the Liberian people, it shows that he is bankrupt and bereft of competence as the vice president. He is bereft of being extremely competent and adequate in his position as vice president. Because why will you serve as the second powerful person in the land and there are oases, a whole ocean of disappointing happenings in your environment? If you listen to Spoon over the weekend or during the course of last week, one of the individuals linked to this entire drug saga, Tony, one Anthony, but he is named Tony for short, he made the remark on Spoon FM that the vice president is his political father. The vice president of our country is his political father. Over the weekend, yesterday morning, we listened to the vice president of this country distancing himself from Tony through his office social media page, through a written communication to the public. The vice president in that in that release stated very clearly that he does not know Tony. Fellow Liberians that are listening to me, and those of you that are watching live, there have been footages, discovery of footages. The vice president and Tony, as well as Tony and the vice president's wife. If you are claiming, Mr. Vice President, we want to consider your assertion and your release to the public as a fact. But what makes this particular statement of your of yours very defining in terms of contradiction as well as disappointing and incomprehensive is that you claim to not know this person who is linked to drugs peddler in our country. Unfortunately, you and this person have been seen not once, not twice, not even thrice. There are footages on numerous of occasions where the vice president of this country and Tony have been together. They have been seen together. Tony has been at the office of the vice president. He has been at the home of the vice president, and reports have been able to come in to tell us after our investigation that the vice president even recommended Tony for a position at the lottery authority of our country. The Liberian National Lottery is the institution for which the vice president recommended Tony, whom he has said he does not know. Mr. Vice President, the Liberian people are not foolish. The Liberian people are not individuals that do not think critically, and they are not people that do not read between the lines. The Liberian people cannot be easily dissuaded from the fact. And you, as a vice president of the nation, is giving contradictory statement to the public under the gaze of clarification, when in fact the statement for which you've given to the public particularly and clearly makes you complicit. And that is why me personally, I utilized my Facebook page to call on the Liberian National Police so that the vice president can be called on for questioning and investigation. Because, Mr. Vice President, you have said you do not know this person, and this person has claimed that he knows you. In fact, you are his political godfather. To further indict you more, the person for whom you say you do not know is seen with you in several other footages. Yes, we may want to agree that if Tony had taken a photo with the vice president on a single occasion, then we would have said, okay, yes, indeed, it may have been coincidence. Tony would have, loved to, take picture with the vice president at that particular occasion, and the vice president may not know Tony in person, but taking picture in any way doesn't place a person in the position of being in the proximity of someone or having that kind of close relationship. But Mr. Vice President, Tony has even been to your house. There are footages to that effect. Tony has been to your office. You have been able to recommend Tony for a position at the National Lottery Authority of our country. And you want us to believe, Mr. Vice President, that you do not know Tony. The amount, the innumerable instances where your name as the vice president of this country have been attached to very despicable happenings, obscene activities in this country, Mr. Vice President. It is unfortunate. It is particularly unfortunate that as a vice president of our country, your name is attached to so many obscene, negative, and very, very disappointing information. Very, very disappointing information, Mr. Vice President. Tony is someone who has been alleged to have link with those of the individuals that have been found probable or culpable in this entire drug saga. And Tony stated clearly that he knows you. You are his political godfather, Mr. Vice President. Mr. Vice President, it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable that your name will be attached. Your name will be attached to happenings in our country that gives our country a very negative optic as a vice president of this country. The president is not in country. You as well. You are not in country. We do not know what you have been able to go to the People's Republic of England for. But Mr. Vice President, the matter of the fact, or the fact of the matter is, your name cannot be attached to happenings that present negative picture of our country to the outside world. Our international partners are watching. They are following closely. They are following. And as a vice president, the name is attached to all of these negative happenings. It is very, very sad. It is very, very sad, Mr. Vice President. It is very sad. It is very sad. The public clarification that you made yesterday, the public clarification that you made to the public yesterday, it further indicts you. It further indicts you, Mr. Vice President. And then we ask, where has this investigation gone from the Joint Security? Because I also followed the press conference of the Liberian National Police from start to finish, from its initial state to its climax. And one of the questions I continue to ask the Inspector General of National Police, Gregory Coleman, you disclosed the location for which the drugs was being taken before it was intercepted at our airport, the Roberts International Airport. But Mr. Inspector General of Police, didn't your investigation make you to understand the route, the place from which these drugs actually emanated in this country? Because I believe that if in investigation, if you are looking at the effect of something, you should also be able to look at the cause. So, Mr. Inspector General of Police, the cause, the passage, the entry point, how did the drugs enter the country? You did not tell the Liberian people. I listened to the entire press release. I followed the press conference live on Saturday evening. And you were unable, Gregory Coleman, you were unable to tell the Liberian people the entry point for which this particular drugs entered our country. I think your investigation should have started from there. Because if you are tackling transnational crime or criminals, you should be able to tackle the root cause. That is why we have said, void of politics, void of religious affinity, void of political affiliations, we want to give the investigation time. But when contradicting or contradictory assertions emanates from those of the individual that are clothed with the authority to investigate and provide information as it relates to the status of the investigation, when the people clothed with the authority are not providing the information in a very credible, resounding, comprehensive, and cohesive manner, then we take exception. Then we do take exception to individuals whom that are clothed with the responsibility to provide a very cohesive, comprehensive, and void of contradictory report to the Liberian people. So Gregory Coleman, the director, the inspector general of our police, we call on you this evening, utilizing this platform on the national discourse, to tell us the root cause, the passage point, the entry point. How did the drugs enter our country? We want you to tell us, because you told us it was being processed and it was being taken to England before it was being intercepted. So we deserve to know as to where did it come from? How did it enter this country? We deserve to know. As Liberians, as citizens of this country, we deserve to know. We do deserve to know. I've been following since yesterday Paul King, who was charged and forwarded to court, has been changing clothes, wearings, his attires have been changing. And today, if you watch one of the local TV stations in our country that were carrying the entire process live, Paul King had a glass on glasses on his shirt due to the impact of the sun ray. I think that is why he wore that eyeglass, as one may want to use that particular phrase. Why is it this man changing clothes? Why is it that he's having shares on him? It said that he's not in custody, or the police is keeping him somewhere, or he has been kept in a very conducive environment where he is changing clothes from here, Yana, and he is being placed not in a police vehicle, but in a air-conditioned vehicle. Drugs crime in this country is a non-billable offense. It is a non-billable offense, and it should be treated as such. We saw the way the Joint Security and the LDEA handled other drugs matters in this country. Why? When it comes to this guy, his entire handling, is different. The way in which he has been handled by the Joint Security and Gregory Coleman is particularly different and very questionable and surprising. It is questionable and surprising. That is why we are asking, why? Why is this man involvement into this matter, even though he has been charged and forwarded to court? This man is riding his SUV. This man is changing clothes. In fact, the man has glasses on his shirt to combat the rays of the ray of the sun, because today, the sun was actually excruciating. It was scorching. The sun was scorching this morning, this afternoon. And the guy was well dressed, placed in his SUV, fellow Liberians, going to court. That man, it is my belief, is being placed in a very conducive environment. He only appears as though he has been arrested and taken to court, but he has been well kept, well cared for as well. That is my belief. Because the offense of drugs, the optic it should give to the public should be that the way in which this guy is being handled, any other persons intending to get involved into the peddling of drugs will be handled in a very drastic form and manner. But parking situation is not even serving as deterrence. It is not a deterrent factor. It is not a deterrent factor. The way in which this matter is being handled, fellow Liberians, is questionable. It is surprising. It is very, very surprising. We have not seen it before. The police should be very honest with us. How are they handling this matter? So the issue about jobs in this country, jobs. I mean jobs, jobs. Someone said is an aged old issue, and we should not be able to talk about it because administrations past and present have not been able to create the avenue where Liberians can work, earn, as well as contribute to the growth and the spurring of national progress. Liberians cannot be able to purchase a bag of water which is being sold for $5 if they do not have opportunities that will enable them to have that particular $5. If you reduce the rice price to even 1,000 Liberian dollars, if Liberians remain poor, if Liberians do not have job opportunities, if they do not work, if you do not create the enabling environment for them to invest and have ends meet or means, they will not be able to purchase the bag of rice which is being sold for 1,000 Liberian dollars. That is to tell you that when the people do not have jobs, their purchasing power reduces. When the people do not have jobs, their purchasing power reduces. They will not be able to purchase. They will not be able to get commodity on the market that is being sold. Those commodities that are being sold on the market, Liberians will be unable to purchase them because their purchasing power is low. It's low and it is depreciative because they do not have job. So we listened over during the course of the weekend to one of the Unity Party partisans, a very staunch supporter of the Unity Party. Her name is Queen Johnson. She works at the national port of our country, NPE. And as I listened to her, she said the Unity Party has failed on the provision of job opportunities in this country. We are discussing sustainable jobs, fellow Liberians. A job that when you have it, which of course you will be very qualified and competent for, and earn money at the end of each month. You will be able to earn at the end of each month. That is the kind of job this Unity Party partisan was talking about. And the government of the day, even though they've said they have come to rescue us as Liberians, the Liberian people are yet to have jobs. Even the vice president made that assertion. Even the vice president of the country made that assertion that they have been able to struggle to provide job opportunities for the Liberian people. They have been struggling. And she just alluded to that on today. She just alluded to it, that Liberians are yet under this government to have access to job opportunities. They are yet to have access to job opportunities. And it is very unfortunate. It presents a picture where this government, before coming to power, they did not even have a plan to provide job opportunities for the Liberian people. And I want to agree with the people that said this government only came to power on the basis of propaganda. Because if you had plans to provide job opportunities for the Liberian people, over 2 to 3 years now, over 2 years, we are running into your third year. We are running into the middle of your administration, the middle term of your administration. And it is unfortunate that Liberians are still crying for jobs. Liberians who are qualified, Liberians who are competent enough are still yearning for job opportunities. Liberians are still crying for jobs. But you want to brag to us that the government is doing well, that the government is making progress, when Liberians cannot be cannot be given the opportunity and the space to work and earn at the end of each month. So then, how are you making the progress? Because the bread and butter issue of this nation is a very cardinal matter that should not be placed under the table. It is of chief importance. It is of very huge significance. The way in which it is vital cannot be overemphasized. The form and manner in which it is vital cannot be overemphasized, fellow Liberians. That is why we want to agree with Queen Johnson that this government has failed. This government has failed and is failing to not provide job opportunities for the Liberian people. This government is failing. And we must call a spade a spade. We must call a spade a spade. Mr. Cummings will bring jobs. Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, I want to believe in him. I don't know, but this man has consistently said he knows how to bring job in this country. He has the dexterity. He has the technical know-how. The last time I sat on this platform, I took your attention back to 2014. Dr. George Wanda, who is the former Minister of Education, he made that assertion that in 2014, Mr. Cummings sat in a room where he was privileged to be in, alongside the president of the country at the time, Her Excellency former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and Mr. Cummings was giving his own professional knowledge, his own expertise when it comes to the provision of jobs for Liberians in this country. How can Liberians have jobs? How can the government explore and exploit other environments to provide job opportunities for Liberians so that they can have food on their tables? So that Liberians can have food on their tables. Mr. Cummings has consistently said that. He has consistently said it. And it is very vital for us to believe in him. Because government go, those of the people we have placed in positions of power are yet to provide job opportunities for the Liberian people. They are yet qualified Liberians, competent Liberians. They are sitting in their respective homes disappointed, very disappointed, and their disappointment is increasing on a daily basis because this government hasn't provided means to make them to have access, unfettered access to job opportunities. And one person wants us to believe that they have come to rescue us. I don't think that is rescue. That is not the meaning of rescue. It is contradictory. It is in clear contrast to what rescue is. Such an irony is very glaring. It is defeating. The irony is defeating. It's almost like a writing on the wall that everyone can see that this government did not have plans coming to the position of authority to drive change in this country. They did not have plans. Because one of the major reasons why they were overwhelmingly elected by the Liberian people, it is on the basis of unemployment. Many young Liberians who have gone to universities, earned their various and respective degrees, are yet to have access to job opportunities. Those Liberians that even are involved with technical know-how, those of the Liberians that have, technical vocational training, they do not have access to job opportunities. Even if they do, they are paying them millions. They are paying them very small amount of money. And Liberians who are qualified and competent enough are becoming increasingly disappointed on a daily basis in this administration. The last time I followed, the president of the country held his 22nd cabinet meeting. His 22nd cabinet meeting, fellow Liberians. 22 cabinet retreats. 22 cabinet meetings. And let us dive into that a little bit. The essence, the chief significance of hosting cabinet meetings, it is on the basis of government effectiveness, progress report, as well as the provision of means and opportunities where the citizens of that state can understand how the government is progressing with the nation. So within 2 years, 6 or 5 months, the president of this country has held 22 cabinet meetings. And one may want to ask, what massive progress have we made as a nation when the president have had a very huge amount of cabinet meetings? And the impact of those cabinet meetings being held cannot be seen and actualized on the condition of the Liberian people. So what is the essence, Mr. President? What is the significance? You sit in the seat of the presidency and makes it look as though the significance of having cabinet meetings is just to expend public resources without impact. That is the picture and definition this president, Mr. Barker, is giving the Liberian people. Because when you go to cabinet meetings, you expend the resources of the country. Taxpayers' monies are being spent. In 22 of those cabinet meetings, Liberians are still languishing in abject poverty. Today, members, employees of the Phoebe Hospital in Bon County, employees at the Phoebe Hospital in Bon County protested. Why did they protest? Salary. I can recall during the past administration, those of the people in that same locale in Bon County protested because government go, government come, their condition have not been changed in terms of wages. Their wage. They have protested consistently. And this government, since it came to power, have not been able to tackle that. Even though President Barker sat in opposition and he said he is going to contribute to the progress of health workers across our country. If you listen to the chief administrator of CB Dunbar Hospital, the second referral hospital in Bon County in central Liberia specifically, did say that people are leaving Phoebe Hospital. I mean, patients, they are leaving Phoebe hospital and going to CB Dunbar Hospital, even though there is no availability of beds. There is no availability of bed. So the health workers in that particular locale of our country, the central region of Liberia, are having this problem. And those of the individuals that are sick at those health facilities in our country will not be properly taken care of. They will not be attended to because health workers have decided not to go to work. And the ringleaders of that particular protest are being placed in jail, and they are calling on the government to release those ringleaders. So where is the rescue? That is the biggest question. Where is the rescue for the Liberians? That is why Mr. Cummings has consistently said we cannot do the same thing over and over and expect different results. We cannot do the same thing over and over and expect different results. So if you are just joining us, fellow Liberians, I'm Isaac S. George, and I'm seated this evening on the National Discourse on Kia Radio 95.9, as well as LIB Future TV. If you are following live this evening, I'd like to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating on this platform through listening to us. And we are discussing critical national issues of vital national concerns. And it is our first edition of this week broadcast. And we like to say, fellow Liberians, thank you for joining us. So, as I was saying, Mr. Cummings has said, you cannot do the same thing again and again and expect a different kind of result. It's almost like you are intending to fill a filter with water when you know very well that that filter can never be filled because it has so many points for which water can pass through. It is embodied by so many points through which water can pass through. Therefore, it is difficult. It is particularly illusional as well to think that a filter will get filled when you are trying to fill it. That is the idea of doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So Mr. Cummings went West Point. West Point is a slum community in Liberia where dreams are seemingly dead, where you grow up, you have a very bright thought of yourself as a young person. But the condition of that place, there are not many young people that make it out of West Point successful, the West Point community. And in that particular place, there is a party of disadvantaged youth. There is a huge number of disadvantaged youth in that particular locale of Liberia. That is why it is called the slum community. People there are living in abject poverty. They are living in visible destitution. They are living in indescribable, disappointing conditions. So Mr. Cummings went and he met with those disadvantaged youths. And his idea, as he said, for tackling drugs in this country, for me, is particularly progressive, and it is a new definition of progress. It is. It is a new definition of progress. How do I mean? To fight drugs, in Liberia, you need to empower the LDEA. You need to empower the LDEA. You're not just going to empower the LDEA through increasing the salaries of high co-officials at the level of the LDEA. What Mr. Cummings is talking about when it comes to empowering the LDEA is to make the entire institution much more equipped to combat drugs in this country. That is to ensure that LDEA personnel do not serve as volunteers. Most of the employees at the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, they are volunteers. They are volunteering their services to the LDEA. So, such a man, how do you expect him to holistically fight drugs when he is being paid an amount that cannot even sustain him during the course of the month? Mr. Cummings has said, we're not just going to empower the LDEA through ensuring that people get employed, but people get employed with a wage that is appreciable. That is the salary that those of the individuals will be paid. They cannot be easily bribed. They cannot be easily bribed. That is the whole, that for me, that is a holistic way of tackling this drug. Because most of the individuals at the LDEA, I do not want to blame them also, because the man is a volunteer and he is not being paid handsomely. And if he is not being paid handsomely, there is a problem. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. If he is not being paid handsomely, if he is not being paid in an appreciable form and manner, then there is a problem. There is a problem. Fellow Liberians, that is what Mr. Cummings is saying. Equipping the LDEA through employing those volunteers, as well as increasing their salaries. He talks about the construction of He talked about the construction of rehabilitation centers in this country. How many rehabilitation centers since this government came to power they have attempted to construct? And Mr. Cummings has said that. He has said it. The construction of rehabilitation centers in this country is very vital. Because even if you arrest the drugs, and those of the individuals, the young Liberians that have been disadvantaged by the intake of drug in this country, are not being rehabilitated to be integrated or reintegrated into society, we still have a problem. So the construction and the erection of rehabilitation centers across our country is very vital. It's very vital. And that is what Mr. Cummings said. That is what he said. After that, he went to the Destiny Recovery Center. The Destiny Recovery Center. And he provided mattresses. He provided he provided a sum of money to those of the people that have that particular rehabilitation center. It is called the Destiny Recovery Center. And Liberians there, young Liberians there that have been victimized by the intake of drug, are there seeking proper treatment so that they can be rehabilitated into so that they can be rehabilitated and reintegrated into our society. If you listen to the news, Mr. Cummings said the intent of an opposition coming together is not to just remove the government of the day. It is to provide a progressive path. It is to introduce a new dawn. It is to bring a renaissance of change, of transformation and progress. It is not just for political maneuvering or political showmanship, because the Liberian people have suffered too much. The Liberian people have suffered a great deal. And our politicking should take a different trend. The paradigm should be shifted to progress, not political showmanship. That is what Mr. Cummings has been able to say. Our politics should take a different trend. That when the opposition bloc of the country is uniting under a singular umbrella, is getting unified under a singular umbrella with a singular agenda, it should be on the basis of providing transformation to the Liberian people and ensuring that the collective aspirations of the Liberian people be met. The collective agenda of the Liberian people be met. Mr. Cummings, in his view, that should be the agenda of the opposition community. That should be the agenda of the opposition community. And that is the backdrop from whence he is saying that to unify the opposition is not to show strength, it is not to show political width or wherewithal. It is to ensure that progress be introduced, progress be visible. It is not to present a picture of progress, no. It is to ensure that progress is being seen on the faces of the Liberian people. You know, I read the page. I read on the page of the Local Voices Liberia, and one of the staggering revelations that I saw, and I became extremely disappointed to the brim of my head, is the fact that we have over 3 million people in this country that feed below the poverty line, the global poverty line. That is a single Liberian, each out of 5 Liberian, three of them are in abject poverty. Out of 5 Liberian, on the average, 3 of them are in abject poverty. That is to tell you how poverty-stricken our country is. If you want to fact check me, check on Local Voices or social media page. We have 3.2 million people in this country that feed below the poverty line. How many are we? Little over 5 million. So out of every 5 Liberian, 3 Liberian are in poverty. So Mr. Cummings is saying, when the opposition community is to unite, when the opposition community intends to unite herself, she should be unified on the front of progress. She should be unified on the front of making a transformation that will not be a form of propaganda. Liberians will be able to feel the impact of the change. Liberians will be able to feel the impact of the change that Mr. Cummings is talking about, the assertion that he is making. So, fellow Liberians, we've been here, we've been having a conversation surrounding other cardinal national issues. Very soon we will go to the line so that we can take your calls. But I like to, inform you that we've been having a, very vital conversation surrounding other national issues of national concern. And I like to say thank you for joining us. This is Kia Radio 95.9 FM. And if you are following us live, you are following LIB Future TV. And we like to say thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for joining us this evening on our week's first edition of the National Discourse. We've been having a conversation surrounding the vice president of the country, the major controversial happenings surrounding him, and members of his environment that have been linked to this entire drug saga, even though he said he doesn't know the person for whom that is being linked, even though the person is being seen with the vice president in several other footages, as well as, Mr. Cummings' visit to West Point, the West Point community, and his conversation with disadvantaged youth in that particular part of Liberia, where he talked about the improvement of, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency to be able to tackle and mitigate drugs in our country. And he talked about the construction of rehabilitation centers across our 15 political subdivisions of our country, because each and every Liberian, all part of the country is being affected by this particular drugs issue. And we talked a great deal about the provision of jobs in this country, the way, the form, the shape, and the manner in which this government under His Excellency President Bokai is addressing the issue of the unavailability of jobs in this country, where we have qualified and competent young Liberians who are yet to have access to opportunities of job, is a very staggering and appalling matter for which this government has particularly felt upon in the course of its administration. And it is something particularly disappointing considering the accession of a major actor within the Unity Party-led administration, someone whom is a staunch supporter of the Unity Party-led government in Queen Johnson. And we talked about the situation in Bon County, where our health workers in that part of Liberia are agitating, they are advocating for increment of salaries, and they are calling on the government attention to the deplorable condition of the health facility there in Bon County, that is Phoebe Hospital, where health workers were being able to take to the principal street of Bon County and be able to demand, and were able to demand government to come to their aid and listen to them. So we've been discussing, we've been having conversation, and we want to go to the lines now and take your calls. So if you've been listening to us, we ask that you dial these numbers: 07779599959 and 0881871670. The numbers to call in so that you can participate on our platform this evening: 07775 077759959 and 0881871670 are the numbers to call this evening. We've been having conversation as it relates to several other national issues, and we believe that you've been following. So we have now opened the line so that you can participate, so that your participation can be accepted on this platform. So if you've been listening to us, call 0707775 0881 871670 are the numbers to call. Do we have a caller there? So, fellow Liberians, if you've been following, this is Kia 95.9 FM, and we've been having conversations surrounding other trending national issues. So, if you've been listening to us, please dial 0777 959 871670. So, since we are yet to have a call, we want you to. Do we have a call there? Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good evening.
Your name is and where are you calling us from?
My name is Avin Dana and I call from the UN Drive.
Yeah, Avin, we are listening to you.
Well, let me appreciate this evening for your talking point, and also let me appreciate Almighty God for pumping breath into us, our voices to be heard. My brother, I think if I sat down quietly listening to your exposés for all of the things you've been explaining, I take some key points from in your speeches.
Okay.
Let me come to the kind of praying quiz or we're gonna praying wording. That sort of that particular girl, for me, I feel that she try to play Margaret out of the Liberian people. If she's serious, knowing for the world that this government which she was yearning for yesterday, and knowing that the government is not providing jobs, let her resign her job and put up protest. For this reason, I will resign the job because we expected you to give our Liberian people more jobs. So say I'm alone get a job, I'll resign from the job to prove the Liberian people that you said it yesterday. So for this reason, I'll resign from the job. And she being honest to the Liberian people. Now, you talk about honesty when it comes to Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings have not been honest to the Liberian people in a sense that I remember when His Excellency, former President George Manuel, who took the mantle of power, who came from the football or I get a page, taking the presidency, proving the Liberian people that he was wanted to transform our country. When you see the international airport, you know, and I know, that international airport route today, when you go there now, you see the economic growth that is transforming on a particular, you see people building a store, building a shop, on a particular lane as far as Margidi County. He even extended the electricity as far as Margidi County, which opposed the existence of this republic. One electricity was not even flying from Mosurado to enter Margidi County. Well, under President George Manuel, we are extending that particular rule. He didn't stop there. He went as far as Medina to Ralsport to extend our road so that Liberian folk can open. They sing Alexander Cummings then with the United Party. When they put up protests on the same jobs business, say President, we are what importing. How of a government? Let's be honest. How of a government who comes to power will be bringing jobs to our people who elected them? We agree that government officials.
So, my brother, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Ask me the question.
Has there been a point in time where Mr. Cummings accused former President Weah of importing drugs? I mean, Mr. Cummings.
I remember once upon a time, Mr. Cummings was in a protest on the June 7th to the executive mansion. On a June 7th protest, Alexander Cummings was in a particular protest. And what they were protesting again, there was the same drugs, everything was into the drug, the economy was high. They are saying Alexander Cummings, who you just stated, you talk about honesty. Alexander Cummings, who want to be honest to the Liberian people. We expect Alexander Cummings at this particular point and time to see her best. Don't forget about the presidency, not getting the presidency before coming to expose yourself. Meaning, you gotta create at least a local company. Don't forget about maybe public.
Yes. So, my brother, no. I have the time. I can give you the time.
Okay, go ahead, no problem.
So, has there been a point in time where those of the individuals, right, that have led this country, why they were in opposition, did they create, an avenue for common Liberians, even though Mr. Cummings has two businesses in this country that are running, right? But I want to know, what were the opportunities that former President Salif, former President Weah, as well as the current president when he was in opposition, what were the opportunities they provided?
Very good. I think you spoke for a long period of time, and you try to give our airtime so that we can speak our mind.
Yeah,
So if speaking our mind, then you want to ask questions with long explanation.
No.
Now, let me get there.
No, that does not mean I can ask you question. No, my brother, we're not arguing.
No, it's true. Let me answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In 30 seconds, because other people are on the line.
No problem. Even give me 1 second. I already speak my mind.
Yeah.
My voice have been heard.
Yeah,
I already
please.
speak my mind. My voice have been heard.
Go ahead.
Listen, yesterday, all these people you're talking about, people are not boasting on the radio that they would be able to do this, they would transform the one. All of the ideas you had yesterday, you joined with the United Party, which thinking that you are going to cooperate to see how better transform the country. You don't even go nowhere. What can happen?
Okay.
The Anakomi are taking the code to the same United Party. So today,
thank you, my brother. Thank you so very kindly. Let us take the next caller there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening, Isaac. My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from New Georgia Gulf.
Yes, Emmanuel. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you know, the United Party has failed. And what people need to understand that no country can grow when you have a risky plan, when you find out that the leadership have a risky plan for the country, especially the United Party. They are serving Liberia for so many years, 12 years, another 6 years, and we want to give them another 6 years with the kind of level of poverty the Liberian people are going through. To even eat one time a day is not an easy thing. People are not getting the nutrition they need. Then people want to sit there to be talking about Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is not better than President Black. He's more competent. He's a real change. We want them people to be sounding like this particular country will not move only because we have the United Party in power. They are good people. When you are suffering, you don't have job, you are jobless, less busy in this community. President Bola have access to all the help, spending $5 million.
Yes, Emmanuel, thank you so very much. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Oh, we lost that caller. Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? What is your name, please?
Thank you very much, and good evening also to the hardworking family of the great KFA family.
Is that Poker Roberts?
Thank you very much for that magnificent recognition.
Yeah, Poker Roberts, we have you on the line. Please speak to us.
Thank you very much, my dear brother, and thanks to the entire folks out here for the brilliant work doing for Liberian people. And we very appreciate you for the brilliant work for and on behalf of our people of country.
Yes.
And for the recognition for the public again, I'm Poker Robert. And I told you this even for our unknown destinations. You see, let me be very clear when you
Poker, why are you calling from an unknown destination this evening?
Come again?
Why are you calling from an unknown destination this evening?
Thank you very much. It is not meaning what I call for, but I will give you the benefit of that to give you the clarity of what I'm calling for, or what I always call for a new destination. Once you have organic law that protect, even the president that is heading the state, and the organic law have been butchered by the chief president of the government, you have a critical force, you have to be very skeptical, and skeptical of the movement.
Okay, thank you for providing that
Even you
information.
like the student that are always preaching the interest of the people, you say you are a race. Yeah, sure. So all we want to need pray for people that you are in direction.
Okay,
so
my brother.
I will come from the definition once the organic law have been pushed up by the chief government that will protect it and that will respect it.
Yeah, please go ahead. We are listening.
So to the issue, you see, when people say you come with equity, you come with clean hands. What does that mean by that? I will call it advocate. I was set to clean advocate, advocating for the United Party team to get job. And I wanted to call it stated. If you very mean well, deny a fair job. That's a fair job, be ready. Deny a fair job. Take yourself on the job and say the job is not important once my people not get job. But you sitting on there, you're making a very handsome salary that you don't even deserve. Yeah, then you're talking about somebody. That's a sure. It's not a sure or clean attention.
So Poker, you joined. Poker, you joined the campaign so that Queen Johnson should leave her job and advocate so that Liberians can have job.
Come again. I'm sorry, I want to read you it.
I said you have joined the campaign that Queen Johnson should leave her job so that she can advocate on the behalf of Liberians.
Everybody mean well. But let's say we come with clean him come to it. That is proceeding. If you know very well the government proceeding, the banana because Nazi is that the thing that was in the trenches, that was in the rain and water. You are said too much in our first. They don't know that you are very well for the people that are better now or are there.
Yeah, Pokat.
So you could be taking a salary.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. We have other callers on the line. Okay, Poka. Yeah, please conclude.
The issue about I want to urge all my opposition parties down, whether CDC or ANC. Our anger should not be about ourselves. Nothing we have done, or nothing that we are doing that is destroying the country. The person that is doing something that is destroying the country is the Quaker and the Cool regime. So I want to get all our arsenals, all our bazooka to the Quaker and Cool regime that have destroyed the country, that have put the country in all its serious public relegation international.
Thank you very much, Poka. Thank you, Poka. Thank you. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, okay. Well, George, my name is Mohammed Bonzo Fofana Jr. I'm president of Lofa County and member of the Concerned Librarian for Justice. Well, George, I would like to appreciate you this evening for your brilliant deliberation. Well, I just want to say this to Queen Johnson first of all before I express myself. Queen Johnson, no matter the eagle, no matter how the eagle fly, will never touch the sky. That's a quotation I gotta give you. You know, no matter you stay in power, no matter your government, in power, will never ever be in power forever. So what you did to our brother Joshua, murdering him, we are still keeping that with me in mind that we would never ever let our kids go free. But to your avocation, you just became mockery out of your partisan, that you are saying that, no job for your partisan, as my colleague just said that, resign for your post, that is not, avocation. They say advocating with people, you stay at your post, still taking fast salary. And I want to say this to the public, my brother.
Yes, please conclude. We have other callers coming.
Kumi, yesterday, Kumi, ready to be frank. Kumi, he's a good person, but Kumi cannot go twice when I as president. And, I can tell Kumi that you can go twice when I as president.
Why?
The Labyrinth has tested President we are, ability of running this country, peacefully and honestly to all are going to to enjoy. But yesterday this guy came with propaganda, with no matter person we are there all this development. This guy came with propaganda and that propaganda, fit us, and Labyrinth have advantage on other people.
Thank you so very much, my brother. Thank you for joining us.
Can I be present?
Good evening, your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening, my son.
Ma CC.
Yeah, Ma Victoria calling from Justin.
Oh, Ma Victoria.
Justin. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening.
Thank you very much, my son. No, Queen Johnson must start playing for Queen Johnson. I know Queen Johnson was free boat. You must start playing for Liberty for them. One of Queen Johnson was she instruct during the 2023 election. Was she instruct people to kill one bottle of that Johnson? We can remember that photo we said Galilee our phone. She must have played for all of the people. When you discuss about the people that get job, as the other color said, when we know that the people that get job, you must resign. And said that the one we're going through it, the one we're suffering. Resign. You bring the government to power to you better the people less, and the people are suffering. You don't say, I don't want a job. Because the people we campaign, we want to net, that they will follow you, pay, and the poor less will be better. So for that reason, I will resign for the people. Then you mean well for the people. To shut up, stop fooling the people. Nobody is to pay here. Nobody is to pay here. You're not crack on radio. We say you're in our interest. You're lie your country power. Stop playing for the people. Queen Johnson, that boy that you kill, that boy is on your head. Let me tell you it. When you don't get the power, you mock that boy. The brother Johnson, I was there. That gets instruct people to kill that boy. My son, let me tell you it. Kill somebody, child, you go block. You can be playing funny, but we mark you. That's the way we judge you tomorrow. When you say when you listen to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man, Victoria. Let us take our next caller there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, so good evening. My name is Kelfala Kamara, and I join you from District Number 7, Sackley P. in Nimba County.
Okay, Kefala, all the way there from Nimba County. Thank you for joining us.
So let me say thank you for the show. I mean, you are doing very well in ensuring that the public is being informed. So I briefly listened to your talking point when you started. So let me start on the LFA note.
Yes,
What I
please
do
do.
believe is that in every country, every other organizations, laws and bylaws fall in line with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia.
Sure.
So for most, let's say for Kaseko to be expelled because he went to a court that is clogged with the responsibility when it comes to addressing American issue that has to do with the law, then I think it's a problem because the court is a place where we have to get or seek redress. So we believe that your institution is not provide that redress, it is prudent enough to go to the court. So I don't know if there are other issues, but if that is the only issue, then I think Mustafa Raji's right was violated because he has the right on the court to seek redress from the court. Now with the issue that has to do with the
Say Kasiako's right.
yeah, Cassia's code. Cassia code rather.
Mm-hmm.
So the issue that has to do with the jobs, to be real, what is clear is that the fight against jobs, I mean, if you look at the entire pattern, what I do know is that the LDA should be the one presiding over this entire jobs issue.
Yes.
But what are we seeing? The Liberian National Police. You are usurping the function of LDA.
Mm-hmm.
Just today, I saw a picture of a lady that was caught with drugs. According to the report, she concealed the drugs inside in, and we saw her picture being paraded and other things. But again, my concern has to do, is it that the fight against drugs is only being pointed at those who do the selling on a lower scale, and when it comes to the big shots, they are being treated like celebrated? How long did it take for us to even see what we are seeing today? The public had to pressure, you know what I'm saying? The government, before the government start coming up. Now, the guy who was free, I just forget about his name, the U.S. Marshal guy, I forget about his real name. If you said that this man was free based on medical, to seek medical treatment, and he was being free, why is it that the court didn't make follow-up to know as to whether he has completed his medical checkup and should have returned back? The only time we heard about his name was because of the $19 million drug case. What if the $19 million drug case had it come up? It means that this man would have been walking free. So you see, the fight against corruption, and even drugs is being selected. We saw what happened with Bucky Raw.
Yeah, so
I can imagine, like someone said, assuming that what we are seeing would have been one of the oppositions. Not even leaders, or maybe a member of the opposition, or leading member of the opposition. Let's tell you what we see. It's a different thing.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Father, please conclude. We have other callers.
To conclusively,
yes.
Liberia's image is the one that will be affected, and all Liberians will be affected collectively because of the greedy effort of few Liberians who feel that the only means to get money is to get involved with illicit products.
Yes, Kefala, before you go, you read the statement from the vice president's office, and you actually listen to Anthony on Spoon FM, where Anthony said he knows the vice president, and the vice president later on came to say he doesn't know Anthony, but the pictures, I mean, there are so many footages where Anthony and the vice president are being seen together. What have you got to say to that? Please tell us in 30 seconds.
Let me say this. You know what this regime is good at? The regime feels everything is propaganda. I saw most of them posting pictures, because someone took picture with Joe Baka, I mean they know Baka know them, because someone took picture with Alex Kumi. Anthony, I don't believe that he will come and lie on it, because if you look at all of these pictures, these are strategic pictures.
Indeed.
For example, the picture with his wife, the vice president's wife, the picture with the vice president and other stuff. But again, they feel the best way to respond to some of these things is through propaganda. The public and people who know what they know the reality. With time, everything will fall in perspective, and there will be no room for propaganda, because when you la the two and red
It will come off forcefully.
Okay, thank you so very kindly, Kefala, for joining in all the way from Nimba County there. Good evening, your name is and where are you? Okay, caller, if you've been following us, the lines are the numbers to call. Good evening, your name is and where are you calling us from? Yeah, Ma CC.
Thank you. I don't want on the line with you now,
Yeah, Ma CC. Hello, good evening. How are you?
for justice.
Okay.
And we are concerned will make sure the protect all who study drugs. First thing I will start with my brother. Where are the things that always continue to ask Waka and his government officials? Where are the things now they do for? Where are the things? We're not saying the things yet. You told us we were bringing drugs. You were doing X, to get a even to his business area, there was drugs there. They were selling drugs there. So they were going to take drugs out of Liberia. But so you took power in first thing again at solar place. For solar place, that push and run. From push and run, that push and start. So you start, you down right away. Your own minister kid and took up on the DEA, every coma, and Fatica. They took us and they want to enter. There's no dangerous than the one of yes west, all of Waka administration. The one that come now is very dangerous. We have resistance. Because as you take it right away, through the sun come up, you will die right in the street. So if you don't deliver Liberia and the way you do for us, Mr. Waka, and what I say is, because we're not saying the things. You told Mercy, our children, vote for me. When you vote for me, your level will change. Your level will change. You will not be the same. You will not be sleeping the same right. You will make business get enough money to pay your labor to be inside. You will let the phone, so will not enter your home. But we're not saying the things. We are just shopping. We are just copying. Yeah, well, then let's see. It was slum. When it rains, whatever is our home. No one will face it. Because we get the finance. What is things you are bringing into the quick job to issue, my brother? Hello?
Yes, Ma CC, you got 30 seconds to conclude.
Okay. And so the quick job issue. Look, let's put the family and how was there. People that don't want to hear in the media. No, who want to hear in the media? Because I want to kill them. So look at our young men that voted for somebody. Everybody get their star. So whether they're on the street of Morovia, and you want to come tell us, oh, they put out their job. No, you want to do XYZ. Then you leave your post with justice. You leave your post with justice.
Thank you. Thank you, Ma CC. Let's take another caller there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
So, good evening, brother.
What is your name?
This is Mr. Riley.
Yeah, Mr. Riley, please go ahead.
Thank you. So, this country we live, except we know why we get here, except we know our function as a Liberian, then we get the right thing to do. What I've seen there is many things people say about this government. Oh, the government has demand experience, demand this, that. The Asian people that have nothing to do with the wisdom of Solomon. That's what people didn't know. Solomon, Methuselah he was an old man. But God chose Solomon. And so God used Solomon. So this government knew. Look, people are saying Queen Johnson joking, this and that, but when you see long team men dying, you think they're laughing. It's serious.
What did you just say?
Queen Johnson can come up. Huh?
What did you just say?
Eh?
You say when you see long teeth men, what?
When you see long teeth men, he dying.
Uh-huh.
You say that laughing with him.
Oh, okay.
So Queen Johnson is saying the thing probably to know that this thing is serious. But people have no way to play job. They just came with propaganda. And the propaganda is showing that the drugs issue. They were breaking, we can say they were breaking the drugs because during that time we got more drugs, and even there's more area now. We people that don't have drugs center with more than now. New area. So the people that nothing. So what my advice is the opposition. The opposition should be
in 30 seconds, please. Please talk in 30 seconds.
The opposition should be one.
Okay.
And the opposition should be like what Mr. Kumi is fair. That not only to take the people from power, but a solution.
Sure.
They should come for a solution.
Yes.
After the fight, not only to take the people from, because we are seeing it. As time goes, we are seeing it. Let us come with solution and be one. Nobody turn a arm to opposition, or opposition to turn a arm to the ruling party that's suffering us.
Thank you so very much for joining us, fellow Liberians. This is the National Discourse. This evening, we've been discussing several other national conversation. If you've been following us and you want to join, the numbers to call are 07779599959 and 0881871670. These are the numbers to call in to join us here this evening. We have at least 8 minutes to 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock we will be signing off from here this evening on our today's edition of the National Discourse. We've been discussing about the Vice President's connection with someone whom has been linked to this entire drug saga. We discussed Mr. Cummings' appearance in West Point community, and where he had conversations with disadvantaged youth, and also asserted in a recommendative form and manner how the government can ensure that they ensure a environment that will be conducive for disadvantaged youth can be erected, and those individuals can go and seek rehabilitation, as well as to be reintegrated into our society after having been rehabilitated. We also talked largely about the provision of jobs in our country. The government, in our mind, and we believe so, have been able to fill in the regard of not providing jobs for Liberians. I think this is the major failure of this government, and they are presenting a picture of no progress under their watch in the terms of providing job opportunities for Liberians. We also talked about the situation with health workers in Bond County, and those of the health workers that have gone on strike in Bond County due to they not being paid, and the condition, the dilapidated condition of the health facility, among many other issues. So if you are just joining, or if you've been following us, and if you want to participate on our show this evening, please call or please dial 07779599959 and 0881871670. The numbers to call this evening to participate on the National Discourse this evening. It is a platform that provides you the opportunity to have your voices be heard on other critical national issues. So we want to say welcome to our platform. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for joining us. We have at least 5 minutes to remain here, so we are looking forward to taking your calls. If there is no call, I'd like to conclude, and I want to re-emphasize yesterday, when Mr. Cummings sat in opposition with the Unity Party, Mr. Cummings did not sit in opposition with the Unity Party on the basis of grabbing power. Mr. Cummings' alignment, as per history, and his involvement with the Unity Party was particularly on the basis of uniting as an opposition and transforming the living condition of the Liberian people. That is the basis for which Mr. Cummings joined a united opposition. No one political institution has taken a seated administration from power before. The CDC did not do it in 2017. The Unity Party did not do it in 2023. So in order for you to come to power, you must be able to join forces with other opposition political parties. And that is on the basis. So you cannot hold Mr. Cummings liable as Mr. Cummings for everything that happened while he was in opposition with the Unity Party yesterday. Yes, yesterday there were issues. There were issues. Are those issues still in existence today? Yes. That is why Mr. Cummings is still telling the Liberian people that the way in which to take this country forward, to form a manner in which we should utilize to take this country forward, it should be on the basis of uniting the opposition, of ensuring that the opposition have a united front. And the opposition being on a united front, it is not on the basis of grabbing power. It is on the basis of restoring national dignity, of fomenting change, and introducing tremendous holistic and collective progress in the aspiration of the Liberian people. That is the Cummings agenda. That is the agenda of Mr. Alexander Benetti Cummings. And that is the idea he has to drive change and introduce progress. So I'd like to conclude on this note that we cannot continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different kind of result. And then we complain and complain and complain that our condition remain unchanged as a result of the individuals we've elected, when those individuals glaringly are disappointing us by the day. So, fellow Liberians, I'd like to say thank you for joining us. We will be back here tomorrow evening to have another fascinating conversation, another progressive one, another intriguing one, where you will be given the time again to participate and make your voices be heard. Thank you very much. I'm Isaac S. George, the host. Until then, bye-bye.